award-winning Gimmo Nation Media Assassination Episode 1876.
This is No Agenda.
Canceling the war. And we are broadcasting live from the heart of the Texas Hill Country here in FEMA Region Number 6. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And back on Refinery Row, where everybody's talking the same words. World Cup watch party. I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
I gotta be honest. I am recording all Dutch team and American team games.
Please.
On the YouTube TV. Yeah, of course.
Why? Are you really looking forward to that Switzerland-Botswana match?
No, I said Netherlands and American games. I didn't say Switzerland and
those
Botswana.
will be more exciting.
This is my teams, man. You can't be such a hater.
I'm not a hater.
You are very much a hater. Oh, boo.
You know, there's only... What?
Nothing. I said nothing.
There's only 9 teams that have ever won the World Cup.
Okay, and they are...
Out of, 130 countries? How's that fair?
What are the 9 teams? Germany?
Well, let's start with Brazil, who's won the most. They won 5.
Yes, they're good players.
And then you have Germany, Italy, Argentina, France.
Yep.
Uruguay.
Yep.
They won 2, actually.
Yeah, they're good. They're good players.
England, they won 1.
Mm-hmm.
And last on the list is Spain.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
So the Netherlands is not won, so they're not going to win.
The Netherlands,
the USA can't win anything; they stink.
The Netherlands.
So what's the point?
The Netherlands has come in twice, several times. I think 2 or 3 times they've come in twice. Typically, they choke against the Germans. They look at those Germans and go, "Oh, my bike!" They choke. Well, we had a miraculous comeback of the Knicks. Look at me with sports ball. Against the Spurs, which is my team, of course, the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, it's an exciting sports year, John. It's fantastic.
For people out there who don't know what happened, is that the Knicks came back from 29 points down.
That was amazing.
Setting the record for the biggest comeback in NBA Finals history.
Yes.
And beat these guys. And the worst part was that your San Antonio team scored 76 points in the first half, and they were leading by, 20-something going into the second half. And in the entire second half, they scored 30 points total.
It's crazy. Is that not a lot? I'm not sure.
That's 1 quarter's worth of points generally in an average game.
So... we can move off sports news as to what's happening right now on the quad screen. Of course, it happens on a show day. The president has just canceled the war. Oil is dropping like a rock. The Dow is up 800 points. And we're just moments away from signing the deal.
Uh-huh.
And I think this time it might be real.
Ooh.
It has to be, because Elon's going public tomorrow, so he doesn't need any disturbances. So he picks up the phone. He's like, listen, Donald, you take care of this for me for today, just for today only. If you need to rekindle it, do it on Saturday. It's been an interesting week in regards to not so much the helicopter stuff and all that, but the president made quite a revelation, which I cannot get confirmed. For some reason, the oil baron didn't answer this. It was like we have a text group, and I said, hey, can you confirm this? And, he just came back with something else and didn't say anything. I thought it was somewhat suspicious, and this is what I'm talking about. First of all, I love the inflation.
Are you concerned, Mr. President, about the latest inflation number which came out this morning? Could that be a...
No, I love it. The numbers were great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. We've been taking out millions of barrels of oil. Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships late at night with no lights. Because
No
they don't
lights.
have any radar, because we blasted the crap out of it. We took that. That's why oil's $85 a barrel. I mean, you take a look. Remember when I did this, I said, look, the one bad thing will be we hit the best economy we've ever hit. And I said to my people, I had Scott, I had Howard, I had Pete, I had all of them.
Bob, Paul,
Todd in the room.
Anthony.
I said, the one thing we have to do now, we had just hit the highest stock market in history, highest 401ks in history. Everything was going well. And I said, I hate to do this to you guys, but
Bad
Iran's
news.
going to have a nuclear weapon very soon. We have to go and attack. So we hit them with the B-2 bombers.
Yeah.
Which took a lot of courage. It was totally successful. We buried it, very hard to get.
Yeah.
But now we had to make the second move. And I said, the bad part is the stock market will go down by a lot based on predictions of experts, like 25%. And it was worth it. To me, it was worth it not to have a nuclear weapon. And the other thing is that oil would go to $250 a barrel. It's at 85.
It wasn't at 85 when he said that, but okay. Do you think this is true, that they were slipping out ships and 100 million barrels of oil?
Well, it's hard to say because he did that trick that one time where they said he gave us a gift of 8 ships. Remember that? 8 ships?
Yeah.
And there was no evidence of that.
Yeah, well, there's no evidence of this, but what is weird is that the oil baron wouldn't respond to me.
Well, maybe he knows something. Whatever happened at about 1:15 East Coast time.
AM?
Because the market just rocketed up.
It took a huge turn, I know.
Out of the blue, one just spiked.
Yeah. Well,
and so somebody knew something. It's like, the Trading Places movie where there's insiders doing dirty business.
it's a classic. It's a classic.
And I don't know. I don't know what, this could be. I think the thesis about Elon's IPO might actually be the most valid thing about it.
What was interesting is the Money Honey, she, of course, had she's not always on the show anymore. Something's going on with her, too. So Maria Bartiromo on Fox Business, the least watched news channel in all history, except maybe for her show, she had on the CEO of Axis Capital. And, she played that whole clip and, then even let it run on longer for about 3 minutes. And it turns out that they actually seem to have the insurance part worked out as well.
Axis Capital is at the forefront of the effort, providing clients operating in the region with protection for assets exposed to heightened threats. Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive is Axis CEO Vince Tizio. Vince, thanks so much for being here this morning. Can you talk to us a little about that business in terms of providing that insurance to those boats, those ships trying to transact through the strait?
Maria, good morning. Certainly. It remains a dynamic risk landscape and environment. Indeed, the announcement last night by the president reinforces the value of the industry providing protection to the maritime space. There's over 20,000 seafarers in the region, and certainly they want the assurance that as they transport goods and services, in the instance last night referenced by the president, oil, that there's protection. And so it remains dynamic. We remain a vibrant market in the geography, protecting our insureds both in the Persian Gulf and around the region generally.
So just to be clear, you're insuring those vessels that are handled and secured with others' ships so that they can be transported through.
For sure. We have representation on any number of insureds. We never reveal, of course, the exact insureds or countries of origin for protection for them, but certainly we are a vibrant, substantial provider of marine coverage generally and marine war more particularly.
What did you say?
The last protection for them. It's protection from, not for them, it's for you.
What do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, he says they're trying to protect, they don't want to say what ships are to protect them. No, they're the ones that did the insurance.
Oh, well, of course, yes.
Hello?
Yeah. You don't want someone taking out something that's fully insured. No, you never do that. I remember back when I had helicopter money, the bank called me like, we think you should probably have kidnapping insurance. I'm like, what? Yes, and it works really cool. You get codes, and then so only with a code can this be uncovered, and you can only give it to your wife. I'm like, I don't think I want your kidnapping insurance.
Kidnapping, that's good.
Kidnapping insurance
makes sense.
Yeah,
you were doing a lot of business in Mexico, I guess.
Well, there have been a lot of kidnappings in Holland with wealthy people. Freddie Heineken was a legendary case. They kidnapped the dude who had the beer. So it's not all that crazy.
Well, they don't do it in countries where they really throw the book at the kidnappers.
No.
So obviously they're not throwing the book at the kidnappers.
No, it's Holland. You can murder somebody and you're out after 20 years. It's real easy. They're laid back there, man. It's cool. So you have anything on this, or because all the other clips I had make no sense now because the war is over.
I just have this striking stuff. I got Trump strikes Iran.
Yeah, but it makes no sense. It's over now. It's done.
Well, not necessarily if it doesn't follow up.
No, well, we'll see on Sunday. But I don't think that it makes any sense to play anything. It's like, all right.
Okay, well, that's fine with me.
Yeah. It's just,
let's just talk about the World Cup.
The World Cup is, we have, I've also gotten all these calls from Dutch radio and television stations. Hey, hi, hoy. Yeah, we're going to be in Dallas for the World Cup.
Hoy.
Hey, hi, hoy, toppie. Yes, that's how they talk. Hey, hi, hoy, toppie. We're going to be in Dallas for the World Cup. We'd love for you to join us. Like, it's a 5-hour drive. I'm not coming to Dallas. Send the jet.
They don't get, yeah, right, send the jet.
Send the jet, man.
They're, it's a small country. They think everything is like that.
Yeah.
They project.
But, even if it was Austin, it's still 5 hours. Like, come on, guys. Don't be so stupid.
Yeah, yes. Tell them to come to Fredericksburg. Why don't you tell them that?
That's the last thing I want. I don't want anybody here. That's a bad thing when people have my number. Email is one thing, but some people have my phone number and they'll text me, hey, we're going to be in Fredericksburg this Saturday. Got time for a glass of wine or a cup of coffee? It's like there's 1 million people a year who come through Fredericksburg. It's like living in Disneyland in Anaheim. It's like, no, I work on Saturdays. I got no time for this.
You tell them.
Yeah, I do.
So it looks like I owe you $2.
Yes, you do. You do. You doubled down. You went double or nothing. You
got a couple of clips on this mail-in ballots.
You want to just explain the bet?
No.
Well, yes, because I need to savor this. I don't win often for you, Mortimer.
Well, what happened was Adam somehow wrangled some sort of a screwball bet that
wrangle. What do you mean?
Spencer Pratt was not going to become the.
You're the one that said that's not true. I said they will rig it. He will not be mayor. He's not going to be the mayor. There's no way. And then you went, you know what you're talking about. This is how they think. They think differently. They have to let him in so they don't think it's rigged.
That you got that right. I was under the impression that they weren't going to be so stupid as to rig the election, but they started thinking about it. And, well, maybe they think, here's what my latest thinking is.
Okay.
Because initially I said, they're not going to be so stupid like they do, at least with Hilton, they let him in. Yeah. But they're not going to be so stupid to do the same thing to Pratt because he's got a lot of traction. He does these ads. He's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But because he set a new standard for how to market yourself in a campaign, they look at it and go, this is probably not a good thing. Let's don't encourage it. Let's show that it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Bump him.
Now, do you think, in any realm, is there any possibility that maybe people really like the AI videos, but just not a lot of people or not enough people voted for him?
It's possible. Anything's possible. In fact, that's explained a little bit in this clip. You should play this. This is our buddy Brett Weinstein.
Oh, Brett
on election fraud.
All right. Hold on a second. Where is he? Brett Weinstein.
We're going to have an endless battle in which those of us who see what we believe.
Now, what is this on his own show, or is he a guest somewhere?
I have no idea where this came from. It looks like his own show.
Okay.
Is clear evidence of some kind of election rigging or fraud are faced with indignation from a vast array of people portraying themselves as more rigorous and careful, who say, where is your evidence? Where exactly is your evidence that there was something wrong with this election? And we are going to be caught in the following predicament. No piece of evidence is sufficient to establish that case.
Wow, this is deep analysis.
And the sum total of all of the evidence contains true things and false things.
Yes.
So it is also no good. So the question is, can you logically deduce that something has gone wrong? I believe you can, easily. Can you prove it? No. And not being able to prove it means that the election will proceed. It will be validated by all of the structures, including the courts. And that means that those who take on the power that derives from these elections will be the result of whatever process we just went through, whether it was an election that happened to be anomalous through organic means, or it was the result of some kind of fraud or election rig. That is not an accident. And point that I want to make primarily is primary evidence against elections that look like this being organic is not actually in the trickle of evidence that we are actually able to see, the moment by moment vote count that does something strange during the night when some large tranche of ballots is suddenly counted or something like that.
We literally saw that.
The evidence is in the structure of how the elections are actually carried out. These elections are designed to allow fraud that cannot be detected and will not be prosecuted. And that's really the thing that we must focus on.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can't wait to tune in to hear him.
This is kind of what the pillow guy once said.
Mike?
He says you can just look and tell that statistically it's not possible what happened.
Right.
But you can't prove anything.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's a perfect crime.
It is the perfect crime. Before you play your NPR clips, I'm surprised you didn't get this. I got Gutfeld's reaction from his. I don't clip Gutfeld. You have, but I thought this was, a typical response.
So the L.A. mayor race is now down to 2, with Nithya Raman advancing over Spencer Pratt to face Bass in November, thanks to a delayed vote count that surged like the estrogen in Tim Walz's veins.
Okay, good line.
So with Pratt out, L.A. voters have a big decision. Do they want to live in a hole or a hellhole? But as rotten as the outcome is, don't you dare call it fraud. It's legal since the system is built for those who control it.
See, he's saying the same thing as Brett, only it's a little funnier.
A mail-in voting apparatus with a time frame of a month to tally votes. Pretty convenient in case you need a second-place finisher that's a Democrat, so 2 Dems face off in the final. It's like when Jesse tips a waitress using change, they'll keep counting as long as it takes. So don't you feel like an idiot for thinking Pratt had a chance when he never did? No one does except those in control. The system tells you so. Fact is, Pratt would not have enough Republican votes to win, so he'd need a lot of crossover votes. Maybe enough people were on the fence, especially if that fence kept pantless junkies away from their kids. But if you eliminate Pratt debating Bass. It's not corrupt. It's just the way the system is run by the people who created the system. The truth is, Spencer had about as much of a chance of beating Bass as does anyone who runs against Putin or Kim Jong-un.
No, okay. Maybe to play the other side, Chris Hayes, who is still on Mrs. Now. They keep that guy around forever. Chris Hayes. Wasn't he the disciple of, what's her face?
Rachel,
yeah. Yeah, he's
in her image.
Exactly.
You might have noticed the big lie is back. Although
the big lie.
Truthfully, it never went
the
away.
Big lie.
The big lie.
Without
evidence. Violent capital insurrection. MAGA is pushing another equal parts deranged and idiotic election conspiracy theory, this time centered on California.
That's how they count.
You know
the
why they're
votes in
doing that?
California.
Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
all I have to do is look.
They are still counting the votes. Do you trust this election?
That seems pretty shady to me. I think California is playing around with us.
But what evidence is there to prove that there was rigged?
Look, some of these efforts are so diabolical and so far upstream that it's impossible to prove. But I think everybody knows instinctively something is wrong here.
Something's wrong.
No. Not everyone knows it instinctively because there's nothing wrong here with California. They're counting the votes. They're counting the votes, by the way, as our own Jacob Sobras has shown, in a room with glass panels so you can watch them do it.
Oh, that does
it. It's not fraud.
So he's just talking about the counting of the votes, not the votes themselves.
The case Republicans are making.
In fact, we have one of our producers is one of those observers in those big rooms.
And do you have a boots on the ground from the said
I'm getting one. I don't have the one that I want to report on because I want to put it together in a concise way. But he says it's pretty obvious that everything that is fraudulent takes place upstream.
Yeah, it's not in the glass box. It's
no, the glass box is just for show.
Yes.
With glass panels so you can watch them do it. It's not fraud. The case Republicans are making, it's impossible to prove, so trust their instincts, is manifestly preposterous and absurd. But again,
it's preposterous.
So was Trump's big lie in 2020.
Manifestly, I tell you.
2021,
manifestly
right?
preposterous.
Essentially identical. And look what happened. Look what that led to on January 6th.
Oh.
And this case looks, to me, like it is setting the table to invalidate midterm results in November if Republicans perform as badly as expected.
Oh, there it is. There's the setup. The setup is there. Yeah. Oh, man. How much longer can we stand this? It's like Groundhog Day. All right, let's talk about your mail-in ballots. What you got from NPR?
Well, so I noticed this is an NPR clip about mail-in ballots, and this two-parter. It's
Richard?
about how it's so important. Excuse me.
That's okay.
Phlegm.
Yeah.
So important to have mail-in ballots that in these remote areas of Alaska, so that you have to, that you wouldn't be able to get the vote in at all if it wasn't for that. And it dawned on me what NPR is doing, and I've noticed it elsewhere too, with some other reports on absentee ballots and the rest, is they take the most obscure, probably the long shot, the most outrageous example to prove a point. Instead of using the mean or the average or anything in between, you find an outlier like Alaska, where there's a village that's out in the middle of nowhere that can't really communicate with anybody except a couple of days out of the year.
An Inuit village, yes.
And you make that's which way that you have to. This is the classic liberal lowest common denominator thinking.
Yeah, but
they love doing this. It's like, well, we got to do it because this little Jimmy here is dumb, so everyone has to be taught the same way. It's always something like that, and that's what NPR is doing here. And I just found it's really annoying. So let's play clip one.
Richard Moses is an Alaska-based campaign and election lawyer who's represented parties involved in ballot recounts and has seen the late arrivals firsthand.
One of them was from out in western Alaska, was postmarked prior to Election Day, and still arrived 7 or 8 days after the deadlines.
For those inside the U.S., Alaska allows mail-in ballots to be counted as long as they are postmarked by Election Day and arrive no later than 10 days after a general election. But a Supreme Court decision could change that. The court is currently considering a Republican Party challenge to a Mississippi law that counts mail-in ballots similarly to how Alaska does. In their court brief, Republican Party lawyers said that delayed counting violates federal law that nationally sets an election day. Alaska's Attorney General filed a brief with the court that did not take a side, but did explain the challenges Alaskans face when voting. Moses, who has represented both Democrats and Republicans, says if the law is struck down, it could affect Alaska significantly.
We live in a state where diphtheria serum had to be delivered 1,000 miles on a dog sled. Not that long ago.
Dog sled.
Any change to the electoral process in any way is going to be groundbreaking here.
Groundbreaking. Oh, this is great. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a great way to frame it. Like, well, look, we have Alaska.
Dog sled. You need a dog sled. How are we supposed to get the vote in? We got a dog sled.
Yes.
This is like bull crap. But anyway, let's go part 2.
Michelle Spark runs the nonpartisan effort called Get Out the Native Vote. They operate under the Alaska Federation of Natives,
man.
which filed an amicus
They're going deep with Get Out the Native Vote.
brief in the case. They said discounting late arriving ballots would disenfranchise many Native voters in Alaska and other places.
So it's racist too, Native voters. This is good.
Who are often in remote communities.
They know how to pile on.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Not good to mess with these things, especially during an election year.
Under the proposed change, voters could still vote by mail. They'll just have to send their ballots in earlier. But Spark says a lot can change in the weeks before an election.
When everybody has the luxury until 8 p.m. on election day to make their decisions, it's not fair to put the burden on us to vote as soon as possible.
If a change went into effect before this November, Alaska political watchers say it could affect the consequential Senate race between Democrat Mary Peltola and Republican Dan Sullivan. Peltola faces headwinds in a state that went to Trump by 13 points in the last election. Still, analysts say many of Peltola's supporters live in rural areas that could be impacted by this voting change. In Platinum, counting late arriving ballots is about more than just election outcomes. It's about the principle of having a vote. Lou Adams again.
It's kind of disheartening. You want your vote to be counted.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you vote.
It's practically Canadian.
So you can maybe make a difference and they count your ballot.
She says the community is hoping to get a polling place. Until then, voting will rely on boats, snow machines, and bush planes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that has very little bearing on the vote for the Los Angeles mayor.
I know, but let's just play dog sleds.
That's good. Did you see the Act Blue CEO testifying?
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it may tend to incriminate me.
This was so good. We've been talking about Act Blue for 10, 12, 15 years.
At least.
And not to forget that there's the big red version, which I think was started by
Jared Kushner. Yeah, but it hardly compares to Act Blue.
Act Blue is pretty out there. You know, every single activist website you see who's asking for a donation, that's the first thing you do. Activist website, let me see, donation. Yes, Act Blue. Okay. But I just thought the first question was all you really need to know to know how the rest of the hearing went.
I do have a series of questions for you, but I want to make sure I'm respectful. Is it Ms. Jones or Ms. Wallace-Jones?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment.
I don't know my name.
I can't even say her name.
That was great. That was funny.
She's so dumb.
And whoever that was, he asked, and he knew what the answer was going to be. That was
once they got a clue.
A quick.
Yeah, and then Jim Jordan went on with, how much did Russia influence the election?
You're right.
You know, they started asking these questions that may or may not, indicate one thing or another. In other words, the corruption of the Democrats.
You could do whatever you want.
She just made it look like the Russians vote Democrat. I mean, the way it went.
It was fantastic. So this was, let me see, when was this? This was 2 days ago. Everybody's phone in Fredericksburg starts going off. I'm like, alert, one of those alerts, like the orange alert, the scarlet alert.
Whatever, yeah. Phone alert.
FBGC Emergency Management. That's Fredericksburg, Gillespie County. First screwworm case confirmed in Gillespie County.
That came on your phone?
On my phone. Yes. And if you want more information, text screwworm to 38276. I'm like, what is this now? So I look at it.
Did you text screwworm?
No, I did not.
Feel like an idiot doing that.
I did not text screwworm. No. And turns out a screwworm was detected in a goat. This fear that they're throwing out there is